Hello everyone, welcome to Masters Teach. And today we are going to discuss about the property law. It is a second unit and which will be helpful to your coming third sem examination. So let us see about this property law uh, second unit. So we'll discuss the Transfer of Property Act 1882, the main rules and ideas. And today's topic is the Transfer of Property Act 1882. Okay, just remember this. We'll see within a few minutes. We'll finish it up this. Okay, Doctrine of Election. What does it mean? If you accept a gift that benefit from a legal document, you must also accept the related duties or burdens. So according to the section 35 of the Transfer of Properties Act makes this choice is mandatory. Okay, so the key rule here, if you are offered the if the give offers the choice, so receiver must choose. He cannot take both. Okay, two choice must be present in the same document. The person giving the property may not be fulfill on it. Okay, the person receiving must be clearly pick one option. So doctrine of election, an example, the situation is that, okay, the person A gives a property to a person B. A also tries to give a C's property to B, then C did not agree to this plan. This is a situation. Then C decision. C have two choices. C can take a A's property, but must then give up C own property, or C can keep C's own property, but then C cannot take A property. So what happened? C cannot have both. C must pick one. The choice must be made fast, or court will decide. This is the doctrine of election. Okay. C. Property covenant explain what they are. Covenant is a promise or agreement in a property deed. It dictates like how land can be used, maintained, or what restrictions apply. The key three key covenants are positive covenant, negative covenants, explicit covenants, and implied covenants. What is positive covenant? Requires action. That is, example, you must maintain the fence. The second one is negative covenant, restrict action. Example, you cannot run a business from home. Express covenant, clearly written out in the deed. Implied covenant, these are assumed to exist by law. Okay, so transfer of property transfer by apparent owner. So owner's permission, the real owner must agree that someone else can act like the owner. Okay, buyers acts honestly. The buyer must be honest and check the things carefully before buying. Then fair price paid. The property must be bought for a fair price, not given away for a free. So, according to section 41, this law protects honest buyers. It applies when someone sees to be owner sells a property and the real owner knew about it. This is a property transfer by apparent owner. So, doctrine of feeding the grant by Estoppel. Okay, here the core principle here is someone sells a property they don't own but later gain the ownership of it, that original sale automatically become real legal binding. Section 43 stops the seller from trying to cancel the sale. Imagine, example here, Imagine A sells a land belongs to B to a C. Later, A inherits the B's land. The sale to C is then automatically made legal. A cannot get the land back from C. This is this is about the doctrine of feeding the grant by Estoppel. Okay, so here latter ownership, then then they become the legal owner of that property. Sale becomes valid. The earlier sale automatically becomes legal. Okay, initial someone sells the property they don't own. He cannot deny. Section 43 stops them from taking it back. Okay, doctrine of less pendants. So simply put, pending lawsuit. Okay, according to the section 52 means that okay, you cannot transfer the property involved in a lawsuit in a way that harms the rights in those case. Example, a lawsuit active in a property court. The lawsuit is directed about the rights to the property. The property is transferred while lawsuit is going on. What happened? Any transfer of property during the lawsuit is tied to the court's final decision. So the persons receiving the property must accept the court's ruling. Why it's matter? So this rule stops people from selling or giving away property just to avoid the outcome of a lawsuit. Okay, then we'll discuss about the fraudulent transfer. So section 53, protecting against dishonest deal. If somebody transfers the property to avoid paying what they owe, creditors can challenge this transfer and it and have it cancelled. Main point: trying to cheat creditors. The person who knowingly tries to stop creditor from getting their money, property is moved. The property has to be actually given up to someone. Creditors harm. The transfer must affect the people who are own money either now or the future. What happened? The court cannot undo the transfer. This means creditors can still get paid from the property. So doctrine of part performance, spoken deal, action taken, buyer safety. Spoken deal means a property deal made verbally, not officially recorded. Action taken, the buyer acts on the deal. Example, takes over property, pays money, makes improvement. Buyer's safety. Section 53A stops seller from removing the buyer even if the deal is not formally registered. So, the key rules: written agreement. The deal must be written down and signed by the seller. Property taken. The buyer must have moved into the property. Action completed. The buyer must have done some part of their agreement. Example: John agrees to sell land to Mary. Main pays the Mary pays the some money, takes the land and builds the house. Even if sale is not registered, John cannot force Mary to leave because of the section 53A. So the key takeaway for this particular thing, so election, that is section 35. If you take something good from the deal, okay, you must also take the bad part of it. You cannot pick and choose only good. So then Ostensible uh, owner, section 41, if the real owner lets someone else pretend to own their property and that person sells it, the sale uh, can be valid if the buyer thought they were the real owner. Then feeding grant, section 53, if someone sells the land, they don't own it but then buys the latter and the sale they made earlier becomes valid. List Pendens, the section 52 says that if a land is a part of a court case, anyone who buys that land while the case is ongoing must follow the court's final decision. Then fraudulent transfer. So selling your property to avoid paying people you owe money to can make sale invalid if those people complain. So part performance section 53A, if you move into a property and do some of what you promised in a deal, you are safe from being kicked out, even if the written agreement is not finished. So, as an examination tip, for each legal idea, remember section numbers, main rules, and examples. Practice using these rules to solve questions. So, thank you for watching. Do subscribe and share with your friends. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you.